Hi there. In this video, we're going to talk about lists in Python and how to read input into a list of strings. What you have seen until now is how to work with lists that have been created, a list of numbers, for example, in the previous two examples. You've also seen what the length function does, or the len function does, returns the number of elements in the list. So now we're going to see how to read a bunch of colors into a list. So if you look at this program that's already written, we start with colors. Colors is empty initially. We read a single color from the user and we check to see while that color is not nothing, which is nothing but the enter key. So when the user hits the enter key, it's going to stop reading. We take that single color and we append it to colors. And then we read the next color. And it keeps doing that until the user hits the enter key. And when they hit the enter key, it stops reading and it prints it. Now, I want to show you this in Python Tutor, which is essentially tracing the code, stepping through the code, which is a great way to visualize what happens with your code. But let's go through this one time. This will just print it. So if you notice, if I run it, it says, okay, enter a color. I say red, green, blue, and I hit enter. When it says enter a color, if you just hit the enter key, it's going to stop reading. And it says, okay, these are the things. Now, this statement, line number 12, simply prints the colors with a square bracket around it. Okay, so that's why I said if you want it formatted better, or if you don't want it to have the single quote, and if you don't, want to have the square bracket, if you want to have maybe not a comma, but some other delimiter between, then you need to format it on your own, which is what this for loop is doing. So you can do the for loop in a couple of different ways. Okay, the way we are doing this for loop is for num in range len of colors minus 1. What is all this? So you know the for loop. Num in range len of colors. Len of colors returns the number of colors in my list, 3, minus 1, 2. So I want to go not till the very end, because what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to add a comma, and I don't want the comma at the very end of blue. So if I don't do that, if I don't do the minus 1, it's going to go after the blue and put a comma and then stop, and then it doesn't look very nice, right? So for example, if I take away the minus 1, notice if I do red, green, blue, and then hit enter, I get errors because I try to, okay, let's comment this line out because I tried to print the last color one time. So let's try it again. Red, green, blue, and notice if you want it formatted better, it says, and then the blue, there's a comma after the blue, which doesn't look very nice. It's not formatted better at all. So if you subtract the 1 and tell it put the comma, as long as it's not the last element, that's what that says, and then print the last element separately. Okay, so you take this code, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to show you how to use it in pythontutor.com. So go there and say start visualizing code, put your code in here, and then do visualize execution. And then you can notice at the bottom you say next. And it's going to start with line number 19, main, call main, and then jumps to main. Okay, now watch here on the right hand side as our objects and lists get initialized. Colors is an empty list. A color is a single color. And here I have user input at the bottom. So I'm going to type in red and submit. Notice here on the right hand side, a color, excuse me, says red. And then I go next. I take that color and append it. Now my list is going to be, see, it's a 0 red. 0 is the index, right? So then we are waiting to read the next color. Type in the input line blue, hit submit. There's blue in the place of a color. You do next. It gets added to my list. So index is 1, color is blue. My next color is green. I hit submit. A color becomes green. You do next. it gets appended. There is index number 2. Notice index starts at 0, not at 1. For all arrays, all programming languages, index starts at 0. So let's add one more color just because. Submit. And so there's purple. Do next. That also gets appended. There we go. So we have 4 colors. Index starts at 0, ends at less than 4, which it should be 0, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm simply going to hit enter, which is to say I'm done with input. So now notice a color has nothing. It just has single double, or it has double quote, which says there's nothing in there. So now my loop ends. We come down to line number 12 and we print it. Notice my output prints the whole thing. That's what that statement does. But I want it to be formatted with commas and no square brackets and all that. Then I go next. Here's my for loop for num in range. Notice now I'll have a num, which is another variable, and it starts at 0. And it's going to go through 4, 0, 1, 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. It's not quite going to go to the third index. Okay, so num is going to start at 0. It's going to print. Notice it printed red with a comma. Num becomes 1, prints blue with a comma. Num becomes 2, prints green with a comma. Now it's going to come out of the 4, and then it is going to print the last color with no comma next to it. Okay, so that's one way to write that for loop. Now I'm going to show you another thing. I'm going to edit this code here, and I'm going to say you can also do this. You can say for a color, or you can just call it for color in colors, print color. Okay, now what is this doing? Watch, let's do that. And then I'm going to do next. I'm going to go through this a little quickly because we did all this stuff. Let's put in red. I'm just stepping through it. What matters is when we come to line 14 to print. What does that code do? That's what matters. Blue, submit, and next. Green, submit, next. Okay, and I'm going to end my input there, this time by hitting enter. So I'm done with 3 colors. Now we go print colors. That's just going to print the whole thing. We know what that does. If you want it formatted better, for color in colors, color is now going to be a variable that becomes a string. So it's not the range loop. Instead, for color in colors, color is whatever is in the list. It's the actual value data, not the index. And it just prints color. So now it's just going to print it all on separate lines. That's what you wanted, right? Now you can always edit this and say, well, I don't want the end to be a new line. I want to add things. So you could come here and say end equals whatever. If you don't want it to be a new line, it could be a space. And then you could, of course, come and say sep equals. You can do all kinds of things here with that to format it. But the idea is to let you know how the different for loops can be written and how you can print lists and how you can read into lists without with a condition where you can just hit enter and the reading ends. So try different things. This will help you do one of your discussions.